not sure how much of this I'm going to be filming, but it is another stop. It's time for lunch and for the boat onto Galilee. Which one comes first? Well, we're about to find out. I think it kind of depends on the weather. They've made a point of laying out some pads here so that we don't slip. Honestly, I think the railing is fairly straightforward, but can't be too careful, I suppose. And it looks like we're going on the ship first, which, given that there's some, well, maybe you can't see those dark clouds over there on the lake. On the other hand, that's north of us and a little bit to the east at this point, so hopefully we won't have to deal with that. But there might be a few others coming for us, so we'll see. On the other hand, who knows, maybe this is the great time to go down below decks and get some more sleep. All right, I'm good. Good question. Make sure that we're undercover. One of the things with being among the first on board is that we get to pick where we're going to sit down. So we have chosen a few of these chairs that are basically in the middle of the boat so that we're not being rained on. And I do feel sorry for the folks that are behind us. But that was when the rain decided to start up on us, so we can't really choose our times, it seems. These things may just come down, and yes, so now we're going to be shielded from the worst of the elements.
You need to zip them.
This is something we've not had to do before.
Hey, zip right up.
Yeah, they do have zips on them. Well, with the hatches battened down, it looks like we're underway, though you can't really tell it over my shoulder. We can feel it moving, but I don't think anybody's going below decks to catch the nap or anything.
What?
You know, on previous trips, it's always been sunny and calm, and we can understand the whole peace, be still feeling about these sorts of trips. But this gives a whole other idea about what it must have been like to be out here on the Sea of Galilee. Because, quite honestly, if you go further out, normally when you're out here in the middle of it, you can see the land all around you. But here, there is absolutely nothing. You could row into the middle of this lake and see nothing in the middle of the storm. It must have been terrifying, even for veteran fishermen like Peter, James, or John. I was mentioned that there's usually a moment of calm and peace for us to think about what it's like here out on the sea. Jesus and the disciples would find the sea to be a moment of refuge and away from the crowds. But,
That was right when we started eating.
Between the rain and the praise songs and the like, it's hard to actually film a moment of that at the moment. But you can imagine what it might have been like. The irony is that unlike Jesus and the disciples, we've brought the crowd with us. And between that and the rain, it's still rather noticeable. And in the meantime, I can't really point out places. Gamla should be right behind me, but you can't see anything here. One of the things that comes up when you're in the middle of a storm, or in this case, something more like a light drizzle on Galilee, is the idea of where Jesus comes to the disciples, and Peter asks, "If it's you, Lord, let me come out to you and walk on the water with you." And of course, we all know the story. Jesus says, "Yeah, sure, come on out here." Peter does, and then suddenly gets freaked out and starts falling into the water. Jesus proceeds to berate him for his lack of faith, but everybody admits Peter went out there onto the water. The thing that comes to my mind is that Peter actually thought about that. If I was Matthew sitting in the boat, it wouldn't have even occurred to me to ask, "Hey Lord, can I go walking on the water with you?" I'd just still want to get him in so we could get out of here and get on the land where it was safe, I wouldn't even think about it. Not only wouldn't I get out of the boat to walk on water, it wouldn't even cross my mind to think that that was a possibility. We give Peter a lot of flack, but not only did he have enough faith to step out, but he was the one who even came up with the idea. It was just Jesus who said, sure, go ahead. And then gave him grief for not having quite enough faith to last him. I've said before that the camera doesn't do these destinations justice. And sometimes I have to say that even one visit from another is going to be so different as to not be able to say what the experience is going to be like. This was so different from any of the other trips that we've been on that one time of being here isn't really enough to explain what the experience is like. You have to be here and understand it firsthand, really.